Now, this is a story also from the New York Post, and it was just so good I had to share. It says, Australian mother exposed as sex worker to son. Mom, do you have OnlyFans? That is not a question you want your child to ask you. How did this happen to this mother? Let's find out. A Perth mother who had a secret job as a sex worker, aka online prostitute, has revealed a horrifying way she discovered so-called friends had reported her to police for being a, quote, bad mom. Lucy Banks, 34 years of age, quit her job in corporate banking. Why? And started selling racy images and videos on OnlyFans after separating from her husband in 2019. Holy crap. I like how they call it racy images and videos. There's no way that the booty hole's not coming out for that one. I don't believe that for a second. And also, I guess good on her husband for getting out before he got cucked online. Jeez. After ditching her restrictive career for a job that worked around her two kids, Banks found out others had been quick to judge. You don't say, with even some reporting her to officials over fears that her children were in danger. She said, my pivot from being a married mother of two with a career in banking to a single mom, aka prostitute, doing OnlyFans seemed very sudden to a lot of people. Yeah. I think the only conclusion that made sense to them was that I lost my mind. Well, you went from a respectable career, married, to selling your booty hole for $3.99 online. Yeah, I could see why that would happen. She said, but in reality, my marriage had been breaking down for a long time. How does that translate to OnlyFans, I ask? Becoming a sex worker, prostitute, enabled me to stay at home and be around for my kids. I could structure my work around when they were at school. And while Banks really didn't understand what the big deal was, she said she decided to keep the intimate details of her adult job from her children until they were old enough to understand. Darling, they're never going to be old enough to understand, and those poor bastards are going to be made fun of and teased for the rest of their childhood by their friends. And God forbid that they eventually see it, because some of their friends are going to get access to it at some point, and guess who they're going to show? Yeah, her children. Oopsie doopsie. Melissa, you were a police officer in Ocean Spring. Oh, damn. That had to have been a wild ride. That was probably one of the worst examples of Americans not coming together, at least in Louisiana. It was bad times. Yes, the eyebrows need work. Yeah. Now, let's see. Now, soon, Banks realized that she couldn't stop other people in her life from casting judgment, with some even taking great lengths to expose her. She said people have had a real fascination with sex workers, online prostitutes, and adult creators. Prostitutes. Had multiple people from my real life subscribe and be weird with me. What did she think was going to happen? That's one of the first things that are going to happen if you're an OnlyFans person. Your friends, your family are going to subscribe to you. Say goodbye to whatever privacy you might have ever had if you're going to show your booty hole online. She said they would feed me facts about my life to scare me and show that they actually knew me. I also had people screenshot my content and send it around. Yup, that was bound to happen. She said that despite making a huge effort to keep her work and personal life separate, those who were offended by her new job reported her to various authorities, claiming she was a terrible mother. These people were calling my kids' schools, the police, and child protection. It was overwhelming at some points, and it made me extremely skeptical about who I could trust. It almost sounds like there's something else to the story. That does seem like a bit over-the-top reaction. I don't know. Now, she said, being a mother is such an intrinsic part of me. It's everything. As much as being accused of being a bad mother really stung, it was awful. I quickly snapped out of it. I'm an exceptional mother. Anyone who is in my network and who actually knows me will tell you I would do anything for my kids except keep them from being shamed for your crappy career choice. Now, after one particularly concerning encounter with a subscriber, Banks ended up calling police, only for the officer to reveal that he'd received 5 complaints about her. Thankfully, the cop said she was not under suspicion, but it made her realize just how often women are judged. She said, if I stayed in banking and had my kids in daycare every day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., people would have judged. What? No, they wouldn't have judged, I think she meant to say. If I lived in Centrelink and child support, people would have judged. If I didn't work at all and stopped providing for my children, people would have judged. I would have been judged and criticized with any option I chose, so I went for the option, the absolute worst option, that had the potential to set us up financially while enabling me to be a present parent. That is a wild excuse to do it. I mean, just admit that you wanted to do it, I guess. I mean, wow. Anyway, she said, but as her success grew online, the downside was Banks was less able to shield her kids, and eventually she was outed to her eldest son. Yeah, he's never going to look at her the same way now, and I guarantee you, at some point down the road, the boy is going to see her, if you know what I mean. And that's a sad day for her boy. She said, my son was 10 at the, 10 at the time, and he just asked me straight out, Mom, do you do OnlyFans? Yeah, that is the kind of line that you say when you've seen your mom. Oh boy. I was always going to have that conversation with him. I'd only kept my children away from anything like that because it's not age appropriate. So it was really disappointing that someone else has taken it up upon themselves to tell my young son about it. Yeah, that was inevitable. The only way she could have gotten away with this and not had this outcome would have been to move somewhere where nobody knew her. I mean, that's really it. And all of these people that are engaging in OF, they're doing incalculable damage to their children when they do this. I get that it's quick money, but fast money comes with slow problems. And this would be a classic example of that. She said, I spent years shielding and keeping my kids away from anything inappropriate, and I did a great job of that. Now, in total, Banks earned over $1.5 million during her 4-year career on OnlyFans, with her stint in the X-rated industry even spawning the idea that enabled her to leave the sex industry. She said, I have founded Million Billion Media, the first PR and marketing agency for the adult industry. And this year, my company also acquired the Adult Industry Choice Awards. It's a gala evening in November where the industry leaders and newcomers are recognized. It's a great space to work in. It's surprisingly wholesome. Oh boy. She said that while people are still curious about what her kids thought of her work, past and present, they don't really care. The typical kids, they're much more concerned about getting McDonald's for dinner and playing their sports. Yeah, that won't always be the case. That I can guarantee you. She said, my job has meant that I've been able to support my kids, and I'm really proud of that. They go to great private schools, they do sports, they have stability. They're not spoiled by any means, but we have a secure and quiet life, which is everything I always wanted to be able to provide. So there you go. That is Mother of the Year from Australia.